Hey guys, Dev with Crime Hive, and I'm back with another video. This is a very interesting and bizarre case of complete mystery right now as investigators are trying to figure out who is responsible for a triple homicide in Florida. And we're going to talk about some interesting insights. And one thing that I found reading through some of the information that I've gathered is huge. And I think it's the one thing that could potentially solve this case. If you're not familiar with it, we're going to dig into it. I'm going to give you the background on it. And hopefully in time with the tips that are flooding in, and we'll talk about that too, hopefully this case will be resolved soon and the family can get some closure, the families. So again, we're talking about 3 victims here. Before I get into it again, you guys, it's Dev with Crime Hive. If you like these kind of videos, subscribe to my channel. You can hit that subscribe button. And I will be coming out with more videos on this case for sure, in addition to the other ones that I'm also doing videos for. But let's talk about this one here. So really interesting. You've got 3 victims here, really. Okay, and these are best friends according to reports. Again, as I see these reports, some of this information may change or some of it could evolve in time as I'm doing this video. So bear with me on that. I do try to provide updates as the case does evolve. Now, these men apparently were really good friends and grew up with each other. They were going to go night fishing in Florida. And so you've got 3 individuals. This is Brandon Rollins, you've got Keven Springfield, and then you've got Damion Tillman. Okay, now I'm going to explain kind of what happened here. It takes place in Florida, and I like to kind of zoom in just to show you guys, to get you a better idea of what we're talking about here. So it takes place in Frostproof, Florida, and apparently the murder took place off Lake Streety Road. So as I zoom in here, you've got Orlando, Tampa, and then I like to just give you guys a better overall view. I'm going to narrow this down here. So zooming in here, okay, you've got the lake that they're going to out here, and you know it's a very just desolate environment here. I mean, there's just not much. It's an old country road apparently. There's just not much going on right here. So a lot of questions here with this. You know, there's not going to be many people active in this spot at 10 o'clock at night, which is approximately when this happened, about 10 o'clock. And I'll tell you how we know about that as well. But, you know, rural area, small community. You've got Frostproof here. You've got these lakes here. Really bizarre. So what happens and what we know so far? I'm going to refer to some of these notes, and I'll tell you some of the most important things that I've learned. So again, $30,000 reward. I'll talk about that. That could lead into some interesting tips. So far, we know that there are over 100 tips in this case right now. So some of them could be what leads investigators to the outcome of this and to the suspect or suspects responsible. Now, I'll tell you, investigators think that there are multiple suspects involved. What happened was these 3 were going fishing, and this is about 10 o'clock at night. First one to go there was Tillman. He's the younger one. He's 23 years old, Damion Tillman. He was the first one to arrive. Apparently he arrives in his white pickup truck. And just to show you, so right here, and he apparently is getting beaten by multiple people. It sounds like from the reports here, it's multiple people. Then you've got his 2 other friends arriving shortly after. According to some reports, they may have witnessed, according to what the investigation's revealing, they may have witnessed Tillman getting beat up. They arrive in a red pickup truck. Next thing you know, these 2 are shot at by these assailants, and Tillman is ultimately killed. All of them apparently are beaten, though, from what I understand from the sheriff's office. This is the Polk County Sheriff's Office that's doing this investigation. They've already done some press conferences. Apparently it's been a very, very really bloody scene. Complete massacre, according to a lot of these reports. A lot of blood, a lot of violence, beaten and shot, all of them. And so what happens is after their or during this incident, you've got Brandon Rollins right here, apparently he's able to get to his cell phone. He's able to call his father for help. And that's really all he's able to say. This is, again, just around 10 p.m. Father answers the phone, and Brandon's saying, "Help, Daddy, help, Daddy." And next thing you know, the father's going, and the father is Cyril, I believe is what his name is, and I'll pull that down here. So his father, Cyril Rollins, okay, is apparently just booking it to get to his son, because he knows, according to these reports, that his son does not call him unless he's in danger or there's something trouble. There's some sort of trouble going on. I mean, that's what he said in these interviews. So he knows there's something going on. He rushes there, forgets his cell phone. So his father forgets his cell phone because he's in a panic. I mean, he's literally he's trying to get to his son. He gets there, and here's the interesting thing that I learned, and maybe you guys spotted this. Maybe if you're following this case, this is why I have this highlighted, but it's extremely important. And apparently, when the father arrives, he actually gets to his son while he's still alive. He is dying. He is very bloody. Now, apparently, according to even the sheriff's office, Brandon was able to say a few things to his father, but the details about their conversation were not being released. That is huge, because what that could be considered is a dying declaration, okay? And if you guys, a lot of people may have heard of the term dying declaration, and that is something that could be admissible in court. And typically, and I'll pull up this actually right over here. You've got, let's see here. So right here, dying declaration, this just comes from Cornell Law School. This gives you a really good understanding of it. So basically, an out-of-court statement is referred to as hearsay. A lot of us know that. It typically is, not admissible in court, except there are exceptions. And one of them is the dying declaration, okay? And then here's why. Now, a dying declaration is a statement made by the declarant who is unavailable to testify in court, typically because of their death. Now, they make a statement under a belief of certain or impending death. So this is somebody that's imminently dying. They're able to say something, some circumstance or something. It could be, giving the name of a killer. Could be, who's involved, what happened. That information can actually be used in court, and it can actually be evidence. That is huge. And apparently, and I was reading other reports too, the father does recall his son telling him what happened, but he says throughout these statements that he was in shock. He he wasn't really following what's happening. I mean, you can imagine a father is witnessing his son die in front of him. Now, this could be huge information. This is still a very fresh case. Cyril, the father, this information that he heard is in the subconscious. It's in your unconscious mind. He could start to recall some really important information in the days to come. It can take some time, but if he does come up with that information, that could lead to the suspects here. So what do you guys think about that? What are your thoughts on dying declaration? What information do you guys have about this case? Do you know anything else? If so, put it in the comments below. I'd love to hear the information, love to hear updates. I really want to get a community going where we can provide updates. We can do much more than just this video. Again, you guys know I'm pretty busy with other business and things like that, but I do want to make more videos and make them better and have more information available to everyone out there with these cases. So a lot will be happening, and bear with me. Appreciate your patience on that. This case, again, far from over. The biggest thing too that I can tell you, they're offering $30,000 if anybody knows anything related to this. They just need to get a hold of Crime Stoppers, and I've got the Heartland Crime Stoppers here that was provided. This is in relation to Polk County. This specific number. You can be anonymous, and I've just got the site pulled up here. A lot of times when you report these types of tips, you can get a like an identifying number, a PIN number, if you will. It keeps you anonymous if you're worried about your safety. There's a lot to learn about this still. I'm wondering what your thoughts are on the victims. According to a lot of these reports, again, we don't know. Sounds like there may not have been a drug deal involved, but it does seem like a targeted attack. I mean, just based on this information, again, it kind of goes back to Brandon here, or not Brandon. I'm sorry, Damion here, who was the first one to arrive. Makes you wonder: was somebody targeting him first, Tillman? Were they targeting Tillman first? Did they even know that these other two were going to arrive, and they just ended up being additional casualties in this sad story? I mean, it's a tough situation that the family is dealing with, obviously, right now, and people want answers. It's interesting that the sheriff's office gave out their names so quickly. The family agreed to allow that. Again, a lot of these cases, investigators have more information. They just can't divulge it. They may have some really good tips. Again, over 100 tips. But that's what I wanted to talk about on this. So leave your comments below. Again, this is Dev with Crime Hive. I'll be back with another video. Just did another one on updates on other cases that I've been following. So it's kind of an overview of different updates. Did 2 videos in one day. So that's pretty interesting. I don't ever do that. So I'll be posting a couple of those here. And you guys take care. We'll see you in another video soon.